who apparently looked like they were in some sort of uniform, perhaps a law enforcement official who had also been treated as well.
Yeah, we're also hearing from the LAPD, the Los Angeles Police Department, that shots were heard at LAX. The Los Angeles Airport Police Department is handling this at the moment. The LAX Police Sergeant Belinda Nettles, quote, spoken to by CNN, said there is an incident at LAX. Evacuations are underway. If this is, we heard from the chopper pilot there, this is outside Terminal 2. A mix of airlines fly from out of there. There's some local airlines, but also some international ones fly out of there. Air Canada, Air China, Air France, Air New Zealand, and the like, KLM. And Virgin Atlantic, but also some local airlines as well fly out of that particular terminal. This is one of, for international viewers who don't know, this is one of the busiest airports in the world.
We're also getting some word here that confirms that at least that they understand that there were some shots that were heard. They have very little information at the time, but what we're looking at is they're leading up to the airport. They're just beginning to assemble law enforcement officials. There's some taxis, and they've cleared out the area. There's been an evacuation of the airport. It does look like it's pretty sparse, but from the other side of the screen, you see that there are medics that are on the scene. There are at least three individuals that we know of that are being tended to. We're not exactly sure what took place inside of the airport, but at least three individuals are being tended to. One of them was in a wheelchair.
Yeah, this is one of the bigger terminals at LAX. Of course, you've got the Tom Bradley International Terminal, which is familiar to many people who fly from there to destinations overseas. And this particular terminal, Terminal 2, as we said, is a mixture of international airlines and a couple of domestic ones as well. On that side of the airport, you have terminals 1, 2 and 3 in a line, and then up the end of that is the international terminal, if you're familiar with it. And on the other side of the airport, you have the other terminals, 4, 5, 6, 7 and so on. Extremely big, extremely busy airport. Not sure what these responders are doing there, perhaps setting up tents or something for forensics. It's difficult to know. But just what we do know is, according to reports, shots fired, shots heard at LAX. We believe this is outside Terminal 2. And we have seen several people brought out. Why, we don't know what their condition is.
And Michael, we're just getting some detail about one of the individuals who was injured in this incident here. He looked like he was wearing some sort of uniform, potentially a TSA worker. We are told that they had to cut his shirt, that he had blood all over him, but that his shirt was cut and that he is being tended to. That was the person who looked like they might have worked for the TSA. But what you see here, what we're looking at, live pictures of people who are, it looks quite calm as they are leaving, as they are evacuating the airport. I believe this is outside of Terminal 2. And a lot of people in wheelchairs, but it looks like it is a very orderly procession out of the airport as they evacuate those who were apparently close to this incident.
Yeah, of course, it was only a couple of weeks ago where LAX was in the news with those dry ice bombs. That incident was, of course, sorted out, and a person arrested over that.
Again, if you're just joining us here, this is breaking news on CNN. This is out of Los Angeles. This is LAX, a very large airport used throughout, of course, for international as well as domestic travel. There is a report of an incident, a potential shooting that took place. This is outside of Terminal 2. We have seen at least 3 individuals who are being tended to, one of them who was being wheeled away in a wheelchair, another individual who was wearing some sort of law enforcement uniform, potentially a TSA employee whose shirt had been cut off because of all of the blood. That's according to someone who was on the ground. And you see the pictures there as they are setting up potentially for a triage situation or just to prepare for potentially for
there's a TSA
the worst.
officer there, by the look of it, a TSA uniform. Yeah, we'll get off that. The emergency responders in action there. It's clearly a very active situation at LAX. Seeing pictures elsewhere of another person being brought out on a wheelchair and being brought out in a bit of a hurry too, with armed responders escorting him to medical assistance. It's obviously still a very fluid situation. There's a lot of emergency service personnel there and first responders. We're seeing a lot of police cars, a lot of ambulances, paramedics.
And one of the things that we also saw was people who were evacuating on foot and also by wheelchair. There's a shuttle bus, of course, that runs between the terminals, and it helps get the travelers getting from one terminal to another. We had a gentleman who was talking about Terminal 3. We understand that this potential shooting incident was outside of Terminal 2. You saw somebody who was just running from the scene, but overall it does not look like people are panicked in any way. It looks like they are tending to this another person who they are putting into the ambulance there. So not a sense of just how big this incident was, or
certainly multiple people being treated for reasons we're not sure of at the moment. Obviously, some of them could be medical unrelated reasons, but reports of shots fired at Los Angeles International Airport. Let's listen again to the pilot of this news chopper.
TSA agent who is being wheeled from 3 over to 2 right now is hopefully being cared for and treated by these paramedics. 7, I do have you there.